Artist SEAK Claus Winkler. This video is an art performance as well as a piece of art. Yeah, and I don't know which direction I'm going. I thought about saying it in German, because then I'm going into a different persona, but let's do it in English and then see how it goes. Yeah, so for those who don't know me, my name is SEAK, S-E-A-K. I'm super famous in graffiti. Um, and I stopped participating in the scene and focusing more on my studio work like 15 years ago or something. And I inspired lots of people in the late 90s, early 2000s in the graph world worldwide with my style and my way of painting and my technique and stuff and the fusion from this. Yeah, and because I wasn't much of an illegal graffiti writer or artist, or you want to call it, however, I thought my contribution or my contribution is the butt inside. My value comes with being innovative. I don't want to use the word progressive because the word progressive is used by people with tiny heads to get rid of whitey. And yes, I also was asleep, but I was already in levels of being awake when I was a child and I was in my teens. But there's levels, and at the end of the rabbit hole, the T is spoken silent. And then behind that is SEAK Claus Winkler deducting words. Yeah. So these are words, what you're seeing here. So what I should talk about? Should I talk about how my day is? I work off-site, the gallery apparatus, the commercial gallery apparatus. I painted my house 16 years ago, starting while realizing when I painted it that I have like a rat's tail of artists, art structures, galleries and stuff like that, who then were trying to benefit from my work in terms of because I painted here a lot, and trying to then basically cuckold me and like selling other normies and NPCs and the popular stuff which looks like me or is inspired by me, and being commercial and using my work as pre-priming, you know. It's like an NLP technique, you know. Two people are flirting, and then a third person goes in between the signal and catches the energy, and it goes onto that third person. That's human behavior, and my name even asks people to do that. No, SEAK Claus Winkler suggests, hey, come on, take it and steal it, you know. So it then which made me start painting my house in a negative way, painting it in a leftist, starting painting it in a leftist ugly aesthetic, to then say, okay, then I'm creating some kind of thing where the others who are taking from me are going down from, which then turned out to be the right decision, because of this leftist aesthetic. I'm just talking about the aesthetic here on my house. I transformed it into a mirror for people waking up. I had some news coverage in the last days, and like a mob, like an artificial digital mob of sheeples, of like NPCs and leftists and paid leftist claqueurs, trying to framing me or anything. It's ridiculous. I don't want to talk about that. That's not the point. The point is that I painted my house ugly, or it looked ugly now it starts looking good in a way, though it's still like on the not leftist aesthetic, but because to take away my vanity from painting walls and forcing myself to paint inside my studio, like inside the house, like paintings like these. So I'm using my art also to steer myself, you know, and to influence myself. For example, in a lot of paintings I'm painting, I'm painting them in a way that I know that they will have an influence on me. So I'm choosing, for example, color combinations in a way that they will then steer me into being more creative or being more disciplined or having better ideas or keep on going into the details and stuff like that, which is good for the process but bad for the selling part, because there's lots of artists in the art world, or inside outside the art world, who choose the color combinations from how to steer the people into buying the work, which maybe I should also do, which is then probably painting, I don't know, like with a corset, or like politicians who talk from teleprompters, where's the fun in that? It's a horrible thought, like some kind of like Bilderberg type of plants, yeah. So anyway, that's how, for example, I choose colors, or I go by intuition, and the word SEAK Claus Winkler or Claus Winkler, Claus can also interpret it as stealing. So it has like also I think that my name also has some kind of, say that, or can have a self-sabotaging effect, which maybe, I don't know if that is true or not, but I'm just making photos here for the title photo. Anyway, so I'm working outside the gallery system, and and since I'm woken up, I'm probably ruined for the art world anyway, because now I know too much about history and the right and the wrong history. And I had no clue when the adults told me what Victor's truth is, in terms of Germany, how much the Allies, they help us, and people in the shadows lied about history. It's crazy. It's beyond imagination. And the adults were asking me if I know Victor's truth when I was a child, and I thought I would know, but I didn't know. It goes way beyond what I can legally say here, as you probably know. But interestingly, the Victor's truth and all those fancy words they're having and lies are influencing me in my life all the time, because they're in a way connected to my name, but I can't tell you why and how. So welcome to reality. So what I should talk in this video? I'm trying to be some kind of of value for what I'm, not just what I'm showing you here. These are all letters, by the way, my typical style, which I'm known for, and I'm known for painting that in large. It means like I'm painting. If you see my work or know my work from the 90s or from the 2000s, or lots of wall paintings with alone or with other colleagues all around the world on hip-hop jams and in graph magazines, books, la-di-da-di-da. An effect my work has is like a crazy subliminal indirect effect, which sadly doesn't benefit me, but others, and it has some kind of astonishing or mesmerizing indirect influential effect, which I sometimes can deduct, but no one believes you or no one cares. So far I didn't learn to steer that effect in my direction to my benefit. The E loud, this E in SEAK or in Winkler, it always drills people into disgust, but also into creativity. Because, for example, when you are a child, you are disgusted by all kinds of foods, and then you drink for the first few times coffee till you start liking it, or you eat for the first time this or that grocery or this dish, and then you start liking it and you overcome that E, and that's part of building up personality and identity. So yeah, so I think my art is also important in character and in personality building, but it can, of course, also steer people into first negative impulses, which people should overcome. Um, how does my day looks? I'm waking up. I'm making myself breakfast. Sometimes I wake up. For the last 2 years, I was waking up often at 5:30, because that's the time where German police is doing house raids to shock the people and to keep the normies, the sheeples, and the NPCs on their foot, on their tiptoes, so that they are scared and duck away. If you would see how I painted my house, I'm a hard case. The people who are doing the, probably hardcore, of course, hardcore surveilled magazine NS Heute. So a magazine I didn't know exists. I just learned on the internet, in the Telegram alt-right, pro-right scene. It's like the national social, magazine from the current people who are pro-white, pro-national, and also social. I don't know how to communicate that in a legal way. I don't want to, have to be careful. I showed them photos. I forwarded them photos because I also integrated people from the alt-right wing scene onto my wall painting, and they said it was great. They congratulated me and said this was probably one of a kind thing in Germany, something like that. So anyway, so I painted my house in a certain way, which obviously makes it clear that I'm in it but I'm also in it since I'm not on the fence. Let's say like this. In German, in English, it's called the fence sitters. In Germany, it's called Kippfiguren. No? Those who probably go in this or in that direction. But I was also like that when I was a child. My first publication was with the age of 8 in 1983, the German ship defending Germany / Europe. So yeah. This is, by the way, the word SEAK in a long version on paper. I'm waking up at 5:30, but sometimes I'm waking up at 7 or 8 or 9, depends. The last 4 years or 3 years, 2 years, I'm watching streams often in the evening or sleeping in. I like watching the streams from HT, Handsome Truth. That's a new thing since 2 years. I would say I'm watching them 4 times a week. Those Omi TV streams, this is my personal quality time reward. In winter time, I was often chilling in the evening in the bathtub. Probably also to compensate that I was alone. I lived like monk mode for like I don't know, 15 years or so, 20 years. Because I was low on money, focusing on my work, wanted no distraction. I also had a party phase in 2008, 2009 or something, the time after that, I didn't want to connect with women or letting people in my life, because I first wanted to, normalize myself. And go out of this like liberal personality character persona I was playing or living. Just have to change the steak in the kitchen. Then I'm coming back. Just a sec. But now with my awakening and hardening on reality and political, not political, but it's reality clarity. I'm not using words like extreme or something, because that's Bolshevik talk. Like extreme or radical, those are Bolshevik words, or then from the CIA transformed words. And you know what we all know what the Bolsheviks did with 60 million Russians. The Bolsheviks were sent over from Washington. So I like the word clarity, which is an inspiration from the AI, who then used, after I corrected or whatever, that it came up with clarity. And clarity, klar, means I have also phonetically in my name, in the word Winkler. So yeah, I'm literally the endpoint or the transformation from the Bolshevik mass murder words radical or extreme into clarity or clear. Clarity, klar. Yeah. So yeah. These are letters, obviously. This is an S, a small E, a small A, square form, and the K. I can also paint this super simple in terms of colors, but I also like these complex painted to make it myself difficult and also to show my skills. And yeah, so because when you paint like for 26 years on the same paintings, or in more than 35 years on your same style, and keeping that style or visual language alive, one must come up with always new ideas, with new things. So yeah, I have lots of unusual formats. Oh yeah, I was talking about, I'm mixing here everything. I was talking about breakfast or waking up early in the morning. So sometimes I wake up at 9, but sometimes at 5:30. Yeah. Of course, I want lots of white children, German children. But this is because now I'm 51, and it's about time. Counter breeding. These are basically sketches for my style. I'm going here with the camera a little bit slower so you can get a hint. You have to see these in a size like on a wall painting, but I would be like this size or maybe this size. And this would be massive, you know. You have to have also the opportunity. Waking up, making breakfast. I sleep without a heating system, and it doesn't matter if it's winter or summer or whatever. So I'm in the winter time, and since 1 year now I'm having like a heating blanket in my bed, because I started enjoying that. But for the last, I don't know, 25 years, 20 years, 15, 17 years, I don't know, I slept without a heating system. I enjoy going my own way. I even have mein Weg, my way, tattooed on my chest, from Posk, from Madrid. He also tattooed Ficken, like means fucking, as well as graffiti on my chest. And for Mr. Cartoon, I have on my arms, today for me, tomorrow for you, and on my back, SEAK 1. The one is a graffiti tradition, it's because the first with the name SEAK, la-di-da. And I came up with SEAK 1 because when I wanted to have a website, I couldn't have the website SEAK, SEAK.com or something in the 90s or something when that was, or the 2000s. So so I had to put like a 1 behind. And a lot of people know me as SEAK 1, others as SEAK. Depends. I'm often doesn't know that I'm communicating in a double meaning way, and I'm completely blind to certain things. There, sometimes for me things are hidden in plain sight, and What else should I talk? I mean, I did like already so many videos. How does my day looks? I'm having always trouble with my weight because I'm eating too much and moving too less. And eating is also, distraction, escapism, la-di-da. What should I talk about in these videos? I have no idea. How does my day looks? My aim is to, for like 15, 16, 20 years was painting as much as possible, at least for the last 13, 12 years, like trying to achieve painting 12 hours a day, every day, or let's say 6 times a week, and then 1 time the week I was with a female friend hiking in the woods, stuff like that, going to nature, going to museums, usually not planning anything, because I didn't have any money. So I was like, okay, you want to do something? She came over here and grabbed me and put me in the car, and we drove somewhere. And I was like, okay, like a child who and adults are having planned something, because yeah, usually it's wasn't never like what I would like have chosen. Like, hey, let's go to Overloon to the Millitracks or go to a military museum or something. But what she suggested, but that also was like nice in a way, Also because it was like this kind of like mild everyday appeal, which gives like some kind of normalcy or yeah. And we spent like in the last 15 years a lots of time in nature as well as in rural areas with village appeals. Probably also she wants to nudge me to move when the shit hits more the fan to Switzerland, or at least resettle on the countryside. Because, for example, where I'm living here, my family, one part of my family moved here in the 1920s, the other part after the war. This area is, in Germany we say schmiert up. It's like the Titanic. It goes down because it gets replaced, And when you look outside the street and everything, the last years, it's, I don't know. I don't want to put this in words in legal terms. Yeah, it's, you can imagine. So, and then when I want to have lots of children, especially when I would have girls, yeah, the risk, plus I want, yeah. So you have to see how it goes. Yeah. So, which is a good thing because then I can take my paintings with me, sitting on packed bags in a way. But this is not how I think about it, because I'm at the moment rearranging my studio. But when shit hits the fan, yeah, everything is movable, or portable. These are SEAK studs, by the way, all saying the word SEAK. The sound in the background is eggs which are boiling, as well as a steak, because it's protein. I've had also phases where I had to live with 50 or 20 euros a week for food. So I would live like well below the purity level, or the legal purity level, because I was too prideful in accepting greater help. And I was just focusing on my art, which forced me then into working and into being focused, because there was no possibility for distraction, which is, it's... maybe I learned this from like lots of examples in life. I know stories. My father, when he became an engineer, he worked long time shifts with technical masters. It's a rank between a simple technician and an engineer here in Germany at the night shift, and a lot of those were like World War II veterans who served I remember like on U-boats, as well as like paratroopers and stuff. And one told him the story. They became, in the first weeks on the boat, they became the best food, and then they became just tin food out of tin cans. And that was then also okay. So you have to force yourself into something, that's all good. And it's also reflected in my name, because it has like some kind of forceful effect or something, like a non-light-footed effect. In a way, I'm painting here play toys and scenarios I think are attractive or interesting as a man, or as a boy, as a child. You know, like it's like window shopping, like visual window shopping. I'm painting it myself, and I'm creating it in a way that I can transform every perceived failure as an as a success, because I'm doing it in my own style. So there's no one telling me this is the right or the wrong way. Of course, I have aesthetics or which based on letters, form, or graffiti values, or which then give some kind of like guidance to normalcy. Depending on how you speak my name or pronounce my name, is how you perceive my art or art in general. Oh yeah, so how's my day going? Yeah, so I'm painting, trying to paint like I basically work all the time. There's no free time. Escapism is maybe watching movies, and since I'm woken up to the replacement, to the activities of certain people, didn't watch any movies. So life goes on Telegram as well as YouTube. I'm supporting several, I'm doing in the resistant a lot of things, supporting important people, key people I don't want to mention here, or maybe I mentioned out of already so far. I mean, they're surveil our phones anyway. Also to keep my face for myself and, and do something. And in the army, I was Fernmelder, which is like a signaling corps. And whenever I was in the actual Fernmelder, I just did a basic training there, and then move to another different unit. But that's what I'm doing. I'm in the communication thing, but also like in the real world, I do IRL in real life stuff too, as well as wake up talks. But that is just new. That is just the last 2 years. How does my day looks like? Um, I'm making myself lunch, depending on what I have here on food. Like I already said, I know also how it is to buy groceries and food with 20 or 50 euros a week, or 15 euros, and eat basically dirt, because there's nothing left for food. But I also can cook like really, really good in my style. Depends. Usually I should eat less carbs. This house here is for my grandparents, so I have like also lots of childhood memories here, which are beautiful. Yeah, I know a lot about history. I collect YouTube videos on several playlists, public as well as private, and yeah, at some point in my life I will watch all these movies or all these YouTube videos. Never was on Netflix. No, I already checked it in other videos. Okay, how does my day looks? I have a very small circle of people I'm connecting with. Maybe in the future this will expand. I don't know. Depends on how the people are. Yeah. I like this outsider position I'm having, because that avoids herd mentality in terms of group thinking, and then getting watered down by normies or by people who doesn't spend as much time into waking up and learning about patterns and history. And it also makes me secure to stay away from maybe possible under the radar leftists or people who work for the political police or spying for them. You never know who they put in place. I had already and if you're familiar with the term handler, what a handler is, certain people have this handler system they're running all around the world, where like I don't want to use the G term for the people who are not in that peer group, but they have like for the G's they have a handler, and you have a certain social status. And I had already, that was before I was still asleep, attempts where people from that group were trying to become my handler, and I was like, it was like a thing. I was like, oh, what does he want from me? That's cringe, la di da di da. While they're being cheap, not wanting to invest or spend any money, which is like a good fit, which is also crazy. Just I have to pause for a sec to put the steak from the plate. So yeah. So what else should I talk? How does my day looks? The last weeks I'm here rearranging a lot, and I usually live like a child here, not knowing which day of the week we have. I'm trying to completely, neglect my surrounding or blending it out. No doubt, which is a good thing, because then I can focus on my art and do escapism with watching or listening to audiobooks. Since the last 4 years, I'm blending out my direct surrounding. In summertime, I'm trying to enjoy the sounds of nature, because there's like lots of birds here and there's nature. I have a garden. I'm having a garden. Have a garden. It's like F-A-G, fact. No, having a garden. Or is it? No. Anyways, the point is, I'm like focusing on what's going on in the world, the replacement stuff, everything I can't talk about on YouTube. The story. So I'm completely in reality. While when I was doing my escapism, it was escapism with stories or with historic things which were facing also harsh realities. That was also a substitute for computer games, because I know how addictive computer games are. So I'm I'm substituting for not being able to, like, maybe my art is a substitute for not being able to play computer games, because they're so addictive and it's unproductive. And so it's more efficient to paint aesthetics from computer games while listening to something which is interesting. So I have the best of worlds, both worlds, and can eject from society and from everything and completely do my own work. And I know how crazy it is to even without TV, how easily one can get pre-primed by these fears and all this system we have here. We have like such a maximum cringe beta male public system of attacking white males or the male society, and it's creeping so hard in also to the discourse on the alternative media, called everything is so beta weak that, for example, when I was like still on Facebook and stuff like that, I was posting and telling people that I'm pretending to be weak and to be like a wussy or something, and making photos like that or movies or something, while writing that I'm pretending this, because I already had the intuition or the fear or the knowledge that once you come along strong, that some people are trying to cut you down for somehow. So, and that's always like, and I learned this already, maybe is it like females, or they are little enablers, or out of whatever reasons. So that's interesting, especially when you are trying to get loopholes, how to, and that's all, but that is basically why male are exiting from society. And I'm doing this, also this going my own way and stuff like that. I'm doing this already since many, many years. So how does my day looks? I mean, I'm painting in different rooms depending on my face I'm having here in my work process. I'm painting in different rooms, different rooms. Or rearranging a room so I have a different atmosphere. Depends also the time of the year. I'm often sitting outside, painting outside, because then I'm enjoying the weather, and I'm trying to spend as much time outside painting. And I have like a work rotation where I'm painting I'm doing this in 16 years. I have like um, one medium or one element or one thing I'm painting then on all paintings for efficiency reasons, which kind of like kills this like hype feeling I'm having or used to have to paint like finish a painting in a day or in a few days. This gives you your euphoria. I took away that ego rush and traded it off for productivity, for long-term thinking. So, and I'm keeping on, which for me it's normal these days that a painting can take like 16 or I don't know 26 years. I'm painting also the backsides for my paintings, and because it doesn't change anything, you know. No one is coming to buying the paint. No risks. No people, wealthy people in shining armors, and so I'm listening to my audiobooks or to these days in the pro-white camp, the worldwide Anglosphere, German pro-white camp, right-wing, etc. camp, / they're telling the truth / facing reality. I'm giving myself this content. Sometimes I'm doing some escapism and ejecting while listening to an audiobook in another time. Let's change the room. I also had, like, for example, this was that was in my childhood. This was the working office room for my grandfather. But I also had here like 10, 15 years ago, that was also sometime a sleeping room where I had my bed here. It was everything, you know. It's like I used to rearrange my rooms all the time for practical reasons, because I have a different work process, because I became more rougher around 2010 or something. Maybe it was earlier. I started using my large room as a studio too, so I took down my living room and I had like everything, all the nice stuff I put in boxes and transformed fully into production. I'm trying to be as efficient and as essential as possible. How does my day looks like? In terms of alcohol, I have phases where I drink alcohol. That's usually wine. I had a few times, I also had phases where I was then drink like a cognac or like a brandy or something, or whiskey. But in bottles, that was maybe like over the last 10 years, maybe, or 5 years, maybe 4 or 5 bottles in addition to wine, or even less. And I reckon that this is like too unhealthy and too dangerous and too powerful. So when I drink something, drink like a half bottle of wine or maybe a bottle, but then I had phases like a bottle a week, or then 1 bottle in 2 days, evenings, and that's it. I also had one time like 1.5 bottle 2 times, or two bottles, nah. And then it's all good, you know. And I can also live also with, used to live for decades or like years without alcohol. My thing is food. That's my weakness, you know, especially like homemade bakery stuff, traditional, of course. East Prussian grandmother, cake and stuff. So, yeah, that's my vice. So, forget anything else. An argument against alcohol is calories. So, or wine. It's an argument. What should I say? How does my day looks? I don't know. What should I say? Should I talk about women? I should whore around more, but I want to, or like F around more, how you want to call it. But I want to also, it must be efficient, and I also want to have, that the woman should have the potential to also have children with, and lots of children, so they must have certain standards. And I just realized I want to have a great future for my children. So both my grandfathers were in the party everybody is hating on, which is forbidden since 1945 because Germany lost the war. And I want my children in the future to have a solid identity. So I want, maybe it's good to just mingle or have interaction with women where their parents, grandparents also great parents. They are. I mean, I'm 51. They must be young enough, legal of course. So that must be their great grandparents. Parents were also in the same party. So or somehow, or, so that that our children are, know who they are, and they are like, how say that, panzered, armored, weaponized against any leftist, anti-white future propaganda world they live in. Yeah. What should I talk about in this video? Maybe I talk about how does my day look. Yeah, I mean, you know it. I'm like the last 20 or 15 years, I was posting a lot on the internet without being like really successful compared to my early days on the internet, where I was on artcrimes.com and graffiti.org, which were like the major graffiti website. I had a website there, and I was like, those were very visited, and I was huge back then. But there were like other people more famous, but I was like really like top 10 or something. And then in the early 2000s, I had a blog and stuff. But yeah, so this is my one of my scaffoldings. But I can also paint without scaffolding, it's all good. Molotov dedicated a spray can for me. SEAK Future Green. This was a limited edition shirt I did for Levi's. So it's a SEAK style, also painted as a wall. Yeah, with the growth of my paintings in terms of that they're growing better and better or more optimal, because of my rotation process over the years, I would say now since 16 years roughly. My mood also updated because what I'm visually seeing while working gets better and better and more complex, which is a good thing. Because I still have those paintings from the 90s, those wall paintings, which are on a super high quality, even though they were like much larger. And they are I must at least be on that level in terms of better. And I would be if I would take myself one painting and I would keep on painting and focusing on painting that in say 1 or 2 days or a few hours. So in a way, I'm making it myself difficult, but I'm also making it myself easy. What's interesting is that when you paint for such a long time, then after 16 years, you realize that lots of your paintings are starting to grow on that level you want to have them, or you even go beyond, that you realize that you maybe don't like your paintings. I mean, you consciously know that they are really good technically and everything, and that they are also for non-art people clearly identifiable in their quality without that people know your background. But you still maybe don't like them, or the emotion they are transporting is like an emotion which you then, the question is also where the painting just takes you, and then a painting can take you in a few milliseconds somewhere, and then you are already in another state. Especially when you are like someone like me who paints like a lot and is like completely, maybe also like always in a mentally already then somewhere else, or I'm taking myself there. So I'm seeing a painting and I'm knowing it's great and it's good and it's beyond what I ever thought I would develop as an artist. But it doesn't mean that I like it or feel it. I feel it literally, it steers me in a direction. But maybe it takes off my emotions, or it makes me feel too good. So I have no energy to invest to be connect with it. the answer here is positive disharmony. I must make my paintings, and my paintings make people a little bit sick, so that they have to invest personal energy to then feel good again, which is how brands are working. It's like how it is. So how's my day looking? I mean, I thought I should talk about how my day is looking, and now I'm not. I'm talking about all kinds of other things, which means it's welcome to me being me. Yeah, because even I'm not listening to what I'm saying, in a way. I see this positive with this long-term process of working in a rotation, working on the same paintings for 16 to 26 years or more, because I'm constantly seeing work I can do. I don't have to think much. I just take something here and work. And then it can be like, for example, that I just did a spray paint job or commercial job, painted to a customer, however you want to call it. Someone asked me to painting something. I had to order spray cans now, so I now have new spray cans. I painted that. It's good. Money is paid. All good. Then I realized like, oh wait a minute. I now have these spray can colors I didn't have, or fresh spray cans I didn't have for the last year or half year. Great. Now I can do this, and this. So then I said, okay, let's start to paint this or that forms as a next layer in a certain amount of paintings. Maybe those paintings I want to progress a little bit faster than the other paintings, so I can impress some people online, because then I can attract attention or anything. Because after you reach a certain quality or visual clearly quality, at least that is the naive thought, then it kind of does me a favor in somehow, because I'm working alone, I'm doing everything alone, I have zero computer skills, la-di-da, and what should I focus on, and just to be then in the end deleted from a platform, or that an algorithm decides long before I have woken up that my name steers too much clarity, too much male power, empowerment, or too much positive masculinity, or too much waking up, long before I even know that I'm steering people for waking up for something, that I'm get limited and shadow banned long before there's a name for shadow banning, So I said, okay, fuck it, So I love colors, and I love working with paint. And it's like a color addiction in a way, or an addiction for the rush and for the feeling. It's better than eating and drugs. It's just for the eyes in a way. It's interesting. It's really magical moments. Yeah. So the good thing is, even when you have work in progress pieces for many years, which seem and look but ugly, or you say, oh, I don't want to even put it in words how bad they are looking, I can easily transform them in a very short time into absolute masterpieces where I completely overwhelm myself in how good they're looking, just by sheer persistence and keep on keeping on, and non-outcome dependent. Because on those pieces, just like something like this, you say it doesn't I don't give a shit anyways, and then you're free of playing it safe, and then you do something crazy, and then it looks really good. But even here I had phases where I had really effed up rest materials, la-di-da-di-da, and it looked very ugly, that I kind of amplified first the ugliness and the low quality in painting, and then put even there lots of time into it. But I say, okay, this is somehow part of the painting. And there's this famous quote, painting is like you stuffing a duck with the craziest spices and groceries, and make it super delicious. But in the end, you serve the people just the skin from that duck, because it's in the oven, it's reached that delicious smell, and it goes through the skin of the duck, and that smell then in the skin, you deliver that, and that is what people taste, So this can also be painting, and it's a super inefficient way of painting, but it's a way, and yeah, so. I think it's really interesting when I change a painting or hang it somewhere else or not hanging a painting anymore, how the room changes, the thought changes, the possibilities. It's like really interesting. It has its own certain magic. And for me, seeing a wall like I see all the time with paintings, without a painting, it's like something really bizarre and interesting. And this room here was a coal cellar when I was a child, and I remember here like coals, like the room was full of coals. Yeah. This is a SEAK piece, but it's a small SEAK piece. You know, it's large, not a large canvas, not really large, but it looks large in these small rooms. But in the future, I will also paint like large canvases again, because yeah, I have too much small works, and for my oeuvre, for my lifetime oeuvre, I also want to have large paintings. Yeah, but also, yeah, there has to be detailed and precise. Yeah, and that's also a form of how to control oneself and stabilize oneself. Yeah. I tend to deduct, for example, like this comes from those leftists, and this problem with leftists and how toxic they are were already a theme in elementary school, and maybe unconsciously, without the word leftist, also in kindergarten. What helped me in the last years is deducting those words and going onto the history path or onwards, and really dissecting it in a way that it's like it goes beyond weaponized autism, and it challenges also people from the pro-white camp, because they then must also maybe get rid of certain dear former anti-white slur words, which they kind of get fond of. Yeah. But of course, it completely ruins you for the system press, because Germany, all the large newspapers have already signed contracts that they can't report about certain people in a critical way, etc., etc. Yeah. I don't know why I'm saying this right now. I should talk about my art, which is, maybe this is part of my art, you know, it's just letters and everything, because the word SEAK tells me that. And this could also look like an eagle, you know, or like the symbol we had on in World War II on our arms and on our chest, you know, it's like the right wing and the left wing and the middle part. So, yeah. Does it take energy away from that, or brings it to that energy? Or does it look like a softened version? I mean, I don't know. I mean, I always thought with this like ICH, like with this like I am paintings, I thought, I make like lots of paintings, la-di-da-di-da, and it goes in this and that direction. And then I realized while painting them, the first flush or the first series of this ICH paintings, just showing you here painting, I reckoned that that I learned techniques while painting them. They became charismatic. They steered my reflection and everything, and then they became like time graves where I kind of started. I'm still in parts still painting on them now and then. Now after 16 years, and that's like the rush of a painter is like being productive and producing lots of paintings. It's similar to people when they're on coke. Or there are certain things for the Schilddrüse, for like food, when people want this inner rush feeling of more, and everything at the same time. And but if you are the painter who then paints it themselves, and I'm painting my paintings myself, that brings you into reality very fast, especially when you want to have a certain quality. Yeah. So this is also one reason why with collectors or possible buyers, or with possible buyers, I mean, collector is a grand word, you know, or a great word, a large word, you know. They talk, I mean, I don't know if it's smart to follow with them on social media. I mean, I'm not on social media anyways anymore, you know, just YouTube and Telegram. I can maybe reinstall those accounts or get them back if I would invest some energy, but I don't care at the moment. So, anyways, the point is that just having contact with people when they want to buy. I mean, of course, it's also great to have good conversations about art. Don't get me wrong. I mean, absolutely. I can just grow from that, especially now when I'm politically, yeah. I mean, I could also, yeah. Yeah. But with possible buyers, giving them a forum so that they can first buy the painting and invest, and then we can also have deeper conversations, because then yeah, because otherwise it should maybe you have to get like airheads maybe, or people like talking blah blah blah, then they don't have to invest any more time. They have already had their experience with the artist or something. I don't know. This painting seems like a lot of people seem to like this painting because maybe of the clarity, of the colors and everything. Yeah, I mean, I would do more on this size and of course much larger, but I also must finish these other paintings. Yeah, so there's a lot to do. In case you're just watching now, this is the word SEAK, S-E-A-K. You can of course say SEAK, or how you want to SEAK, or you want to SIck, or how you want to spell it. I don't know. It just depends on you. However, I know the pants means ants. So maybe I'm ending the video now. La-di-da-di-da. So see you in the next video. Yeah, I hope I could drop some sense here. Yeah, this painting is, for example, from 2010. Thank you. Bye-bye.